Hello, Slicey Dicers. This is Brian with another knife review for you. Today, we have the Real Steel Stella. Before we get into the full review, I do just want to say, stick around towards the end because I'm going to bring out some other newer Real Steels and just talk about how, man, they are killing it this year, I think. If I had to pick a budget brand, I think most people consider Real Steel to be a budget brand that is doing the best job in 2021. And I know we're only 3 months in, but right now, it would be Real Steel. They do some very unique stuff because of their position in the market, which we will talk about throughout the video and more so at the end. Just they do a lot of European stuff. It influences a lot of their markets. And this knife definitely influenced by that. You're looking at a very modern slip joint, nice pocket clip. I don't like stuff without pocket clips, so I'm glad to see that. It's a Poltergeist design, as you can see by the logo. It is a slip joint. You probably noticed by the little half stop. This one is two-hand open. But this fuller here, you can put a thumb stud on it if you want to make it one-hand open, which is pretty cool because it does cater specifically to one of their primary markets. They are huge in Germany and throughout a lot of Europe, but especially in Germany, I know because I go there sometimes, and every sporting goods store, every knife shop has a lot of Real Steels. So a lot of their knives are influenced by those knife laws. Germany's and a couple other countries in Europe, their law is you can have either one hand open or locking, but not both. So this one is neither, but you could put a thumb stud on this fuller. I'll show you with the Luna here in a moment how they do that. There's a little thumb stud that slides on here to make it one hand open, but not locking, so it's still completely legal to carry. But it still fits in well in America too if you live in a place that has, you know, very strict knife laws, or, you know, you do travel around and you don't want to worry about your knife being legal or illegal. They still make knives that are really good EDCs, but still are very compliant with the laws. And there aren't a whole lot of companies kind of focusing on this sort of market, especially the way that Real Steel is. So yeah, like I said, 80 bucks in this VG10 and the G10 handles. There is a fat carbon version right now for 180. I think you can only get that straight from Real Steel. So I'm tempted. I'm tempted because, again, if this global whatever ends and I'm allowed to go back to Europe and I want a new Europe knife, it might be the fat carbon version of this. I do like it a whole lot. So let's do some specs and some size comparisons before we get any farther here. You have a blade length just under 3 inches, which again helps out a lot with the legality. Overall length 7.2 inches. Blade thickness 0.1 inches. Handle thickness very thin, 0.37 inches. And a weight of just 1.86 ounces. So not too bad at all. We'll do some size comparisons here with the normals, and then we'll bring out some other stuff that maybe applies a bit more. This is your Spyderco Paramilitary 2. Trying to line up the pivots there. You can see much smaller than that. And your Spyderco Para 3, a little bit shorter than that. Not dramatically so, just a little bit shorter than that. And bring out the usual Benchmades. We have your full-size bug out, and the, I guess you can say now, full-size 940, since the 945 came out. That's a little bit smaller. So I might pivot a little better. Yeah, you can see again, it's smaller than both, closer to the bug out. And now bring out a couple more slip joints. I'm going to bring out one of Real Steel's own products first of all, because this is another very similar knife in concept, I guess. This is the G-Slip. This is an O-Stop Hell design. Oh, I put the wrong knife away like a moron. Live video, everybody. We're just not even going to fix that. Sometimes I just like to own my mistakes, and I laugh at myself as much as you guys laugh at me. So there we go. A little bit shorter than the G-Slip. And we'll bring out the Luna. This is the Luna Boost. So this is the frame lock version of the Luna, but the slip joint version of the Luna is very similar in size, so it's still applicable here. You can see just a little bit bigger than the Luna, a little bit smaller than the G-Slip, so you can kind of see where it fits in the lineup. Make sure we put the right knives away this time, you moron. I have no excuse. It's totally normal time of the day and everything. I'm well slept and well caffeinated. I'm just a fool, just a silly little monkey. Here is the Case Mini Trapper. Bring out a couple of slip joints. And Another kind of modern slip joint, because it's still called a modern slip joint, no pocket clip or anything, but this is the CGRB Biome. So you can see a little bit bigger than both of those. So what do I think of this knife overall? I'm not going to evaluate it as being a slip joint. I'm just going to evaluate it as being an EDC knife. The fact that it's a slip joint is just still it's just icing on the cake if you need that for the rest of this review. The blade is excellent. Not always a huge fan of VG10. Everybody says I bag on VG10. I mostly bag on Spyderco's VG10. I've actually had fairly good luck with Real Steels. It always takes a screaming edge, no matter which company it comes from, Spyderco or whoever. There's just a lot of variance on how well it holds an edge. This one seems to be pretty good. And again, super easy to sharpen. It does have an excellent sharpening choil, which is another thing I don't like about the Spyderco VG10, because most theirs have no sharpening choil whatsoever. And for a blade steel that you have to sharpen often, that's really annoying. But at least here you have a really good sharpening choil, so you can get this to a screaming sharp edge. Just if you're using it every day, day in, day out. VG10, you're going to have to touch it up quite a bit, but it's not hard to do when you do. Pretty thin behind the edge, 16 thousandths, not bad at all. Very thin blade stock. It is extremely slicey. No worries there. Tip on it is fairly delicate, but this is a slip joint. You're not going to be doing a whole bunch of crazy stuff with it. Ergonomically, excellent. It is really, really good. The curve of this handle fits perfectly. The pocket clip lands in a good spot. I know it's kind of curvy, and the pocket clip is right hand only, right hand carry only. But yeah, it's just really, really comfortable. I really do like it. And where your finger wants to land is exactly where you would want it to land. Stop that slip joint from closing on you when you're using it. It's a very safe, secure, and comfortable handle. The G10, pretty good texture on it. Definitely not even remotely close to the realm of pocket destroyer or anything like even close to that, but it does have enough grip to definitely make you feel pretty secure with it. Yeah, overall use, I didn't really know where to stick this, but as far as like safety concerns go with a slip joint, this one's pretty darn safe. It's pretty good. The spring tension isn't that great, but we'll talk more about that. It's not bad. It's just not crazy, like a GEC or something like that. So yeah, ergonomics pretty darn good. Carry also excellent. Obviously, there's no flipper tab or anything sticking out. Bring out EO Levi's. It's very light. This pocket clip works extremely well. You could hear a little bit of tech from that G10 texture, but nothing that's going to bother you. Hand slips right past it. And again, it's a nice milled titanium pocket clip. That's where part of that $80 goes to, is to do that instead of on the G slip like you have the wire clip. But it does look really nice. And it works extremely well. They do a pretty good job with their milled clips where there's still enough ramp, to get in most pants, but it's but the tension isn't too crazy, and yeah, plenty of room up here to get past even jeans with like a reinforced pocket and stuff. So really, really good there. The action, I already kind of alluded to it, but yeah, the walk and talk, as they say, little light spring. It's not crazy. Yeah, it does have that kind of 3/4 stop, more than a half stop. I did it for you here on the camera. I'm still mostly a two-hand close guy with this. I think it is safe to close one-handed for most people, but yeah, it wouldn't be too hard to blow past that stop. I wouldn't do it every single day. It is two-hand open unless you put a thumb stud on it. Then it will be a very nice one-hand open knife. But and that's probably part of the reason why the spring tension isn't too crazy on it. But yeah, not too bad. Overall, I really like this knife. $80 is kind of a lot for, VG10 and G10 handles. It's not insane, but it's kind of a bit. And a lot of it, I think, is, yeah, because of that pocket clip. I almost would have rather they just put a regular pocket clip on it and made it a little cheaper, but I can't kind of see the pocket clip arcs like that. I don't know. Minor complaint. I don't think it's a ripoff. I think the price is the upper end of fair, I guess, is the way that I would categorize it. So, yeah, but very good construction, awesome design, very slicey little blade. And yeah, I'm really tempted by one of the fat carbon ones. That would be a really snazzy, sexy knife to have for a legal anywhere kind of thing. So I did want to talk more about Real Steel, so I'm going to bring out some of their knives. Like I said, like I alluded to earlier, they're just what they're doing now. A lot of it is influenced by the fact that they are so, so popular in Europe. So they make a lot of stuff that is very Euro legal. I mentioned that this is the Luna Boost. So this is about $100 titanium. I don't remember the steel on this one off the top of my head. N690. You can also get it in a carbon, very lightweight. You can also get it in a slip joint. But this one, if, for example, if you're in Germany, you have the frame lock and it's one hand open, but the thumb stud just loosen that screw, slides right off. It's legal again. So pretty handy to have that in countries with weird laws. And then they're doing a lot of updates to some of their more, you know, classic designs. This is the mini version of the Metamorph. This is an exclusive to Indiana Knives. Go down to Indiana Knives, click that link below. You get 10% off. They're sold out right now of these, but there's also more versions in this same size, a smaller version of the old Metamorph. Metamorph, one of the best budgety front flippers I think you can buy, no matter which size you choose, this or the larger one. And then just doing unique stuff, you know, like the Real Slim, which is super slim. And I know a lot of reviewers are really liking it. It's not the sexiest thing in the world. This is my second one. I had the steel one and I sold it. And then I said I kind of wished I'd gotten the gold one in the video. Real Steel saw it and they sent me one. So I thank them very much for that. But very unique, you know, looking design, Yermer design. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Again, with the VG10, but just super slim as the name would indicate, and just a very unique knife. I just think Real Steel is just really doing some super unique stuff, and definitely a company you should pay attention to. They're more, I know they're modern, but they're traditional designs, the designs they've made for years, like the Megalodon, they've updated that. A lot of other stuff they've updated. There's also, you know, like the Akuma, which is a new design, but still kind of a more just traditional for them. I know it's not a traditional knife. Don't jump on me in the comments, but, you know, just a more normal, I guess, better word, you know, modern locking folder. Yeah, they're just doing a lot of really cool stuff, and I'm really liking what they're doing. I really, really am. Really appreciating them and keeping an eye out. And yeah, definitely do not sleep on Real Steel. I know when people consider knives, you're talking about, you know, Spyderco's and budget stuff, Civivi and stuff like that. You know, look at Real Steel as well. Some really cool stuff coming out from them. Hope you guys have enjoyed this. I've been Brian. Have a good one.